Gaming, whose teamwork has been impeccable, and then Secret, individual skill and drafting. That can take you a long way. Do you have a favorite here, Synderen?
I think Secret also has teamwork. I just want to get that out there. I don't think it's just 5 individuals pressing some buttons. You know, that doesn't really get you very far in Dota nowadays.
Would you say Vici Gaming also has individual skill?
I think so.
They're pretty good at Dota, yeah.
Yeah, most of them. 5 of them. TK probably fallen off a little bit on his later days. yeah. I mean, these are some of the best players in the world, just on every position, really, in both of these teams. And a lot today is going to come down to strategy, as it always does. But I would say, so far in this tournament, the most impressive team for me draft-wise has probably been Secret overall. They've managed to find this really nice balance in their strategy between having strong lanes, team fight, initiation, and a way of killing Roshan. And this draft, to me, is no different, really. It feels like things are just solved, right, for them as far as how they want to play. Now the question is if this Vici lineup can bring it to them.
It definitely feels like they have identified the win condition. It's a Drow Ranger lineup, so we're going to counter that with the Arc Warden. Yep. We've got a nice initiating tool, which is what the panel said was missing with that last pick Clockwork. Good team fight all around, while Vici Gaming, for me anyway, it looks like they're going to have to hit that mid-game really hard. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, for sure. The Vici Gaming lineup really peaks when Drow is fully online. And I'm not talking 6 slots. I'm talking, you know, when she has that first real damage item, whether it's a butterfly or something like that. You have the protection of Treant, you have the protection of Abaddon, and you have a lineup that naturally wants to group up and use these team fight abilities and have auras, I'm assuming, on either Doom or Abaddon as well. Maybe both even could buy auras. I think both Crimson Guard and Pipe look nice against the Secret strat, so we'll see if they split it evenly between PYW and Yang, or if they do stack them on both on the same hero.
I want to see our mid matchup, Ori. He has really impressed me this tournament, man. And he's been impressing me for the last 2 years as a player who just seems to get better every year and has been one of the top performing mid laners. See how he does against Nisha's Arc Warden. Bottom lane, we're already going to have a first blood, though. Eurus does manage to pick it up on Puppey as the aggro Dro tri-lane catches Secret off guards.
That is a very nasty lane. You have 2 big boys in front, and you have the Drow with the frost arrows in the back. Might even see Drow go for, I'm guessing, the 2-0-1 build, so you just have that more in the way of the slow, so Doom can stay on top of targets. And yeah, I'm curious to see what Secret are going to do to solve this. We're doing a little bit of courier snipe here from Yapsor onto Yang's courier, as he has now been joined by Puppey in the top lane, so it will be a 3v1 there as they've swapped, or rather they've placed Zai alone down here. He's just chilling, getting hit. Looked like he was AFK, I promise you, it's on purpose.
Trying to pull that creep equilibrium back as much as possible. And they do get the matchup they wanted, right? They on the Secret side, they want that Monkey King versus the Abaddon.
Yeah.
Certainly not against the Drow Ranger.
And if you do have a hero in a 1v3, Clockwork, one of the better ones. The hero does a lot with levels and doesn't necessarily need many items to perform his job in this game. That's also why it's a great pick for Zai with this team often. Or he might have to jaunt here.
He's going to try and waiting rift to the other side of that fissure, and that's good enough. He jumped to his orb. He'd be in no man's land for quite some time. They're going to try and block out that double damage rune. He dodges the Spark Wraith and does manage to pick up the DD. Yapsor harasses him a bit, but against that extra physical damage, he'll back away.
Who harasses who?
That certainly
it's like 50 damage for 300. Not exactly. That's not my idea of harassment. You know, it's usually the person getting harassed is the one who gets the worst trade.
Yeah, it's funny how those situations, it's just about like kind of who breaks first, who actually mans down. And of course, it's going to be the double damage. That's the difference maker. Zai, as you said, just trying to soak what he can. What do you think about this build? I've seen a lot of Clockworks going only like 2 levels of Battery Salt and higher levels of Rocket Flare. In fact, maxing that first usually.
It depends what your job is in the game. If you're having a really good game, I think the Battery Assault probably still is the go-to build for the solo kill potential. But if you look at this game, it's not really likely that Zai can stay on top of targets very long. Puck will get away, Abaddon will get away. You're going to dive by a 4-step on the Drow Ranger. Oh, nice shift there coming in from Ori.
Yeah.
So what I think he's going to do, he might do that 2-1-4 build in this game specifically to push lanes, right?
Yep.
Push out waves. You find more farm as well with Clockwork that way. It will help you scale a bit better in the mid game.
I've seen these Clockworks do this quite a lot. The whole just like his mid laner hits him up. Hey, he's about to pop a healing salve, and you just throw a Rocket Flare over there. The surprise damage catches them off guard and could change the trajectory of how that mid lane matchup goes. Eurus going to be chased here by Matumba Man with the extra Frost Shield to be able to slow him down. They're going to turn to multi-shot Matumba Man, but he's tanky enough. He's going to be able to survive through this, and with the helping hand of Yapzor, they're going to be able to get the kill on the carry. Trading away their support, though. DY helps to get a little damage onto Yapzor. Vici Gaming a little bit more limited, just the fact that they do have 2 melee supports with no clear stun between the 2 of them.
And now with this little bit of a switch up, the Abaddon versus Clockwork lane, you're feeling very happy as Abaddon in that, especially with the head start that you've got. You're 18-8 against an 8-1 Clockwork. You're going to just get those 4 hits in. Clock can't fight you at all, especially if you don't max Battery Assault. How are you ever supposed to stand a chance in this lane? Yang with a full level advantage right now and a little bit extra. It's
And the Monkey King lane is a lot different once he hits that 2nd level of Jingu Mastery, right?
Yeah.
It's a big difference in damage and lifesteal. So against these melee heroes, he's going to fare a little bit better. As you can see, DY force back.
I love this from Eurus. Very rare to see a Gust skill this early. I'm a huge fan of this spell in lane against these kind of lineups. You have 3 melee heroes on Secret's lineup that kind of want to come in close, and you're covering yourself very well. It's kind of identifying, okay, we're not in this lane to kill heroes. We want to farm and stay afloat, and we know that if Monkey King doesn't snowball out of control, we'll get him later.
Battle over the bounty runes, Matumba Man, he's going to cheat a little bit. He's going to be able to hop down from the trees and join his supports, making it a 2v3, going the way of Secret.
Some of the voice lines in the game always. It's like you can play this game for thousands upon thousands upon thousands of hours, and there's still some voice lines that you feel like you've never heard before.
Yeah, sometimes you just get like a hero ally combination that you haven't heard in a while, and all of a sudden some voice line sneaks in.
Monkey King's great. Oh, great hero. So what was the rune trade? Was it 2 for 2?
I think so. So we had Eurus managing to get the one on the left, and then Yang obviously getting 1 at the bottom lane. We are going to max out Battery Assault for Zai here, maybe because of that one matchup, but with Yang already having his level 6, certainly not going to be getting a solo kill in that lane anytime soon. 6-minute runes are coming up. Ori would like to make his rotation, but Yapzor, he has been constantly around this mid lane, throwing fissures, denying runes.
Yeah, I think that's something that Yapzor does exceptionally well. I think a lot of players lately, or in the last year, have kind of transitioned a lot more into stable laning as position 4 to get those levels. Yapzor is very good at rune control, and it makes a big difference in these killer matchups.
Oh, the waiting rip forward or backwards, but the stun lasts too long. Yapzor, once again, proving to be very impactful in this mid lane, and he doesn't really need to help on his side lanes too much, because this is, part of the Yapzor-Zai relationship is that Zai is willing to take a little bit more of a step back in the laning phase sometimes.
And he's gone for a very defensive build. Oh, well, aggressive. Depends how you look at it with the 2 bracers. DY. Hoppy's going to pull in Euros to make sure that they get the Jingu stacks off against Gust.
Balance strike.
That was a great decision. Good counterplay, though.
This is a really sick one. If they can actually bring down both these heroes, the Monkey King trying to get away from the pup, but just won't be able to do so. The multi-shot comes down to slow down Puppy as well. A double kill for Eurus.
Perfect timing on Ori's respawn to be able to connect on that play. PYW will die in mid lane. Zai coming in with a hook shot, showing off that finish level 6. This is the one hero in the game he's really good against right now, and arguably Treant can be struggling against Clockwork as well. So we were talking about maybe the 2-1-4 build with the perspective of the heroes he doesn't do particularly well against, but if you play to your strengths, you can definitely max Battery Assault. It's still, I still say it's the default build, but the other one has been picked up sometimes. I mean, we're talking about it like this hero ever gets picked, lol. But
Yeah, I was quite surprised when he was trending at this tournament. He's been picked, probably 4 or 5 times. Not a massive amount, but
for Clockwork, that's a infinite % increase in pick rate. So that's great.
Certainly.
It's cool. Love the hero.
Another change up in the build, and this one we're actually going to see in the game. The Arc Wardens, who are playing much more like a mid-game hero with this maxed out Wraithband, Treads build, not going for the Hand of Midas and Boots of Travel of old. This is a Arc Warden that is very scary at about 20 minutes.
Yeah, even earlier, just having high level, and you have 2 fluxes, you have all the spark wraiths and fights, and then you have all these stats to just right click with. I feel like for this meta, this is how you should play this hero almost every game. Just get involved, fight. You're even decent at taking towers because you kind of have a built-in DD rune whenever you use your ult. So,
nice. Once again, he does have an orb up, but it's not going to be there fast enough. Yang not there to save the day, and is going to be forced back. Still holding on to a point of his ultimate, just in case he can pop it at a better time.
Yabzor's been on point this game. He's basically played, there is no such thing as the perfect game, but it's pretty close what he's done so far. He's found multiple kills on the puck. He's assisted his top lane. He is rune controlled. Don't think he's missed a single spell at all. It's all just been perfect pretty much from him. So really good stuff. That's what you want to see out of him if you're a Secret fan. And of course, when he plays that Shaker, he feels very comfortable. One of his absolute all-time bests.
And it helps the fact that Vici Gaming have 2 supports that really don't have the same kind of roaming impact.
Yeah.
Nor can they really directly threaten the Earthshaker too much. So he's just kind of been free to move around. Secret simultaneously are having fine lanes. The Monkey King is top net worth right now, and Zai is still getting the levels he needs, even if he's a little bit lower on net worth. As you said, it's really the experience that matters.
Yep. Something that's kind of nice about this Clockwork hero is if you have a lane that you just need somebody parked in, Clockwork is one of the better heroes at just sitting there. He's naturally tanky. He has an escape tool in the hookshot if he needs to. He has cogs. He's super good to TP in to turn around for. If he doesn't die in an instant burst, he has so much turnaround potential once cooldowns are used. And on top of that, guess what? If there's a play on the other side of the map, you're one of the fastest connectors. You TP, you have that massive range hookshot to join fights while still defending that safe lane tower. I think this is something in this tournament that teams have not been doing well enough, is defending their safe lane tower. A lot of the teams have kind of been giving it up, To me, it's a thing of old. You should defend every tower you can nowadays. And yeah, it's something that a team like Secret will definitely put emphasis on, holding all their towers as much as possible.
Yeah, I really agree with that. The safe lane tower feels particularly impactful now. Hold up, Eurus going to be in trouble here as Creep Wave does approach, help saving him from that flux damage. And with the TP should be fine. PYW is going to come back in, but with the Tempest double still up, my friend, you can't really challenge Nisha. Again, the 4 Wraithband build plus the treads is very dangerous. Matumman actually getting a kill on Ori there in that top lane engagement. Yaps are not even having to use the Echo Slam, so it looks like they got that kill relatively for free.
Now that the siege creep waves are out, the shrines, or the outposts, sorry, have already been taken. We're going to see some aggressive movement here from Vici Gaming. They bring down Treant to join Yang in trying to take this tier 1 tower. Zai is doing what he can. He's not getting too much help right now. I think Puppey might have TP on cooldown after getting engaged on by the puck up top.
Yeah, he's booking it right now. And might be there in time for the last remnants of the tower. No, it doesn't look like he's given up on it. In the meantime, Secret do get a decent little pressure on mid lane, but the real scary part is Vici Gaming have a tower advantage over you, and they do have that tree and protector, and that's just going to build.
And they're not going to give up this top tower. I'm pretty certain that they will reinforce this. There's already a TP now from Treant. One of the biggest benefits of this hero, outside of the fact that he has living armor for the tree, he's really good for the tower. He's really good just pushing out waves safely. He's just press Q, hide in trees.
I think we saw like Liquid use him really effectively with Taiga. Like every single time he picks up a Meteor Hammer, he's just planted in whatever lane the team doesn't want to play in, and he'll stop pushes, he'll defend towers nonstop, and then he can still rotate in. Zai, as you said, trying to do that, but unfortunately got a little overwhelmed by a Drow Ranger push with an Abaddon. You see our Earthshake right now very close to that Blink Dagger, and that's part of the reason Secret's probably bleeding out. A little bit of objectives here is just because their timing is going to come with that big initiating tool. Ori, meanwhile, is going to be able to find long-range initiation onto the Monkey King. They're going to make sure he does get off a Wukong's command. PYW fully commits there, using the Doom as well, just to make sure, but a hook shot. Now line up between the two of them with a chain frost. Oh no, it bounced over to the puck. It doesn't matter though. They've got more than enough damage thanks to Nisha and his Tempest double Arc Warden.
There's that clockwork factor. If you fight a team next to their tower, it's so easy for him to connect. It almost feels like Disruptor in that way that, sure, you got a kill, but can you get back out? The reach is just insane. Yaps are perfect position here on the Shaker.
He's going to be able to help Ori out. Ori, really smart positioning with all of those spells. We'll see whether or not they can turn this around as Zai is going to be chased down. Puppey, he's going to go down to Ori. Meanwhile, the clockwork is kind of stuck. Zai is going to be saved by Fisher, slowed down a little bit. That last couple of shots does land on him, and PYW's on the other side. Slowing down, Ori and the rest of the crew will try and take down Nisha's Tempest double for the extra gold. And all around a good turn by Vici Gaming. Ori, especially smart, that waning rift onto Lich to make sure he can't get Sinister Gazed.
And in that whole fight, until the end, DY was level 5, minute 12:30, which is pretty unusual this patch. Usually teams make sure that whichever support is struggling the most gets the tome and the other one takes a lane, but he had a bit of catching up to do. Fortunately for him, that fight helped out a lot. He's now close to level 7. It's a really nice level to hit for the Treant. You get them maxed out. Nature's Grasp most likely. Just sit there in that wave, push it out safely. That bit more effectively. And yeah, Vici Gaming with a very quick turnaround. This puck hero has been so good for the teams that really use it well. It like feels broken when you watch it sometimes, but it really is just, it's a communication hero in my opinion. It's so much about understanding how to rotate for each other as a team, because most of the time Puck's like ability to solo kill isn't nearly what it was before with the other attack damage talent.
Eurus in trouble, surrounded by the Wukong's command, a clockwork on his way. Good silence, but at the end of the day, he can't get out of that Wukong's command. Not with the Echo Saber, it's too strong. Oh, Sinister Gaze instantly put onto Ori. He's gonna have to try and run away with the Flux still on him, and the Spark Wraith on its way. Chain Frost as well. Face Shift just won't come up in time. Another great kill. PYW back over the bottom lane. Secret is everywhere right now. They're gonna be able to claim him. Yang, a much harder kill to pick up, but they're still gonna try for it as Zai bouncing back with the cogs. Finally, the ultimate is gonna be forced. They're gonna try and stick with him a little bit, just slowing him down. DY's here though with the Brambles, the Overgrowth. They're gonna slow down these heroes underneath the tower. Their turnaround onto Zai will be successful to get that kill, but DY has to get away from the Tumbaman, whose lifesteal is allowing him to survive through with the Boundless Strike, healing him up a little bit more. Claims the kill into DY, but multi-shot just in time. A jump away is not up. Yay. Does manage to get him with the miscoil, and a killing spree going the way of Yang for that as well.
I like this Dota. There's a lot of really good individual plays, tons of kills. Maybe Secret slightly over-aggressive there, choosing to try to go for the Abaddon in the tower after he got off the ulti. Just any rotation in there would have made their life hard, and that's exactly what happened with the Treant TPing first and then the Drow on the outpost. And just overwhelming them there in the end. And that's a big kill for Eurus to get as well. Matumba Man is top net worth. There's a lot of benefit for Vici in that engagement.
Yeah, that's particularly scary because that's their two teamfight heroes at the top of the net worth. It's so hard to fight into that Maelstrom Arc Warden, who has it now, and then that Echo Saber Monkey King as well. Vici Gaming, they're gonna have a hard time pushing towers, that's for sure. But we'll see as they all push into mid lane, and Secret, they may be not ready to contest this. They are going to get the Fissure onto Ori, but they're still stuck underneath the coil. They're going to be able to get the Doom onto the real Arc Warden here. Yang pursuing, trying to chase him down with a multi-shot going out as well. The Chain Frost a little off the mark, but Yang committing and does manage to bring down Nisha. At the end, they had Matumba Man up at that top lane. They didn't bring enough heroes to this fight. Now Secret's going to probably lose it here with the Overgrowth. Locked onto 2, locking onto that clockwork, but DY at the same time, a little bit of turnaround by Yaps. Are trying to kill him. Ori stopping that Sinister Gaze with a silent multi-shot and a missed coil. Takes down Puppey as well. Vici Gaming swarming into that mid lane. Matumba Man finally showing up with the Echo Slam onto 2. Can they win this engagement against superior numbers? Eurus going for a fade TP out, but the Fissure stops him. Only 1 kill though. The rest of Vici Gaming low, but still alive.
And they did get the tower, so I think you're very happy with that if you're Vici with the trade you got. You took so much advantage of Monkey King not being there and just they played very confidently and aggressively there, knowing he couldn't connect. And well, I did say before, Puck doesn't have the best solo kill potential anymore without the level 10 damage talent, but you know what will help is Laser Stick. That extra 400 magic damage will certainly allow him to maybe burst a hero like Lich on his own.
Yeah.
Without needing so much help, or just be that extra little bit of damage needed to take down Nisha. I love this play from Secret though.
It's so cool to me how Secret always bounces back from maybe a fight that they lose or something like that, but they always read timings and say, okay, they're out of position or they don't have certain ultimates. We can take a big objective like a mid tower, like a Roshan here. And now with Nisha having an Aegis, these team fights are going to get real difficult for Vici Gaming. Can they do it again? Can they outposition Secret one more time?
Oh, that's a good item to find on Arc Warden. You love that one. Attack range and minus magic resistance. Perfect for that hero.
Oh, hookshot. Locking down DY, as you said. One of the better heroes against Stream Protector, as you do have a physical area to hold him in. He can't just walk away in those trees, so good pick.
It's a big item on the way for Drow here, almost completing the Hurricane Pike. Multiple purposes in this game. I think you need 2 or 3 Force Staffs on Vici Gaming's lineup, honestly. You're playing against Monkey King ulti, you're playing against Clockwork, and you're playing against Fissure. You need to be able to reposition your entire lineup most of the time. So the other item that works is obviously BKB. This one on the way for Doom. Oh, well, being built. If it was on the way, that would be in a really good spot.
You're running into Zai here, instantly dooming him, dagging a little bit extra damage to make sure he dies. They're also going to try and catch this backline. Yapzor does break the coil to try and run away. Does also have that Shadow Amulet to be able to protect him. They didn't realize when he got around the tree, so they thought he actually escaped away. Nice hold there from the Overgrowth to make sure that Puppey dies, and they caught the Monkey King. What a disaster that would have been if they don't catch those extra heroes. Sweet juke by Yapzor, though. Really sick.
Yeah, usually you would see at least the fade time on the Shadow Amulet, and that would kind of give it away. But I think he started fading in the fog, or they didn't notice. And I'm sure we're going to see it on the replay right here.
Just that one tree that he's able to get around.
They did see the fade.
A little bit of fade, but they must have assumed that he broke it right away and ran into the trees instead of just chilling there.
Yeah, they might have thought he got a little bit further with that orb cast, but he couldn't. He just stopped in his tracks, right? That's what you usually do with Shadow Amulet. You walk a little bit. They didn't have any detection on them, I think, so the orb wouldn't have killed him regardless, but it looks cooler. It's always nice. Style points.
Zai also survived from that Doom Dagon, just not enough damage. But I do appreciate that Vici Gaming kind of identified, okay, that hero's out of the fight, let's try and catch another and another. And maybe they didn't catch Yapzor, but in the end they got Matumba Man a much bigger bounty, as he is the top net worth hero.
And it's surprised he chose to stick around. You've got a Doom Clockwork running out of the fight, and you have your Shaker on like a beat stick of health. That fight was kind of over. Maybe they were hoping for some heroic turnaround with Echo Slam and everything, or rather, he wasn't expecting to be found.
And that kind of smoke rotation is perfect to set up an advantage for the outposts and bounties. They already control both, but on top of that, the Monkey King will be dead as that crucial timer comes up. So
you have to concede this a Secret. Don't try to fight for them. You're not winning.
Well,
okay.
He doesn't agree with you, Sin, and we'll see if he pays for it. Anybody to stop him? Nobody from Vici Gaming is going to choose to take that.
Okay. I think a simple Doom running in with an Infernal Blade might have stopped that. They were probably scared of how much it was going to cost them. I think losing one support for this outpost might be worth it. But it's a Doom. Like, Doom could have stopped that 100%. Like,
Doom could have stopped that. They also could have gotten the river bounty. Like, there's no Monkey King. Who's going to...
Showing a lot of respect there. I'm surprised that Secret got to take that one, but obviously Drow wasn't in the neighborhood. Maybe they felt like this 4-on-4 is going to be too difficult. It was too high risk. Vici has historically been a pretty stable team. Like if there's a high risk, high reward, or a low risk, low reward play, they will generally take the secondary one in these mid game situations. They have become a more aggressive team as of late, of course, but still, it's that's a hard-learned skill.
Yes.
The cost-benefit of Dota is very difficult to get right every time.
I think the one part where sometimes you don't go for the low-risk reward is the option of trying to save each other.
Yeah.
I feel like Vici Gaming, when they have messy games, they get into that save a friend syndrome where one pick-off turns into 2 or 3 because they're always trying to bail each other out. But that same kind of concept is what makes them so good at team fighting often.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it's bad. It will generally look either amazing or terrible when you do that stuff. It is one of those things that just flat out throws games where you're in a good position, but it can also be the true way of winning, like playing around these borderline clutch saves where all cooldowns are expended.
What do you think about this build from DY? Opting for a sustained build is building into mech and teamfight items rather than the Meteor Hammer that we see to focus on split pushing.
I think we were talking about, oh, wait a second.
Echo Slam leading off. They had the Boundary Strike to follow it up as well. Just so much chain stun that Ori doesn't stand a chance.
He would have actually lived if that Monkey King stun didn't clip the Treant. I think the overgrowth would have saved him there.
Yeah.
That was really close. And they didn't even know. Like, that was super close to working out. Speak of saving a friend, that would have been one of the clutch moments, but he was nearby, but that connected just the way they needed it to.
The puck down for 30 seconds. They're going to try and take this mid-tier 2. Yang on the front lines, taking all this damage. He still has his ultimate and the rest of his boys to join him. They just want to be able to push Secret. It doesn't matter how much damage this tier 2 takes as long as it doesn't die, because then DY can heal it back up. And sure enough, they are able to push Secret back.
Oh, Puppy's in trouble. They saw him on a sentry ward.
Yeah,
he has decent move speed. That'll save you.
Nice.
So, yeah, to answer your question about the mech, we were talking about how we think Vici Gaming should buy Pipe and maybe Crimson as well. They have the Pipe on the Abaddon. You're getting these Greaves probably completed on the Treant, and Doom did not go for a Crimson, so they're not getting it at all. They're getting the other auras. It just seems like a very solid approach. You're playing against Monkey King and Arc Warden. There's so much AoE damage just being dealt constantly. Get anything that mitigates and keeps your team afloat. It's also a hard game to use Meteor Hammer in, I feel like. There's so many random things that can hit you while you're channeling it. You can Fissure, Clockwork, First Spell, Monkey King Stun.
And maybe not the best game for you to try and split push, with Clockwork being so effective at catching you, with Monkey King potentially being able to do the same.
Absolutely.
And it really leads into our original idea of this game for Vici Gaming. Hit that mid game hard. You just have to run them over about 30 minutes, get that second Roshan, take a high ground.
I personally find this Meteor Hammer to be a little bit overrated on Treant. I think a lot of people buy it just every game because it feels good, right? You're in the trees, you can get that clutch stun, but just as many times it's like, if you either get caught by anything, or if you're not in the perfect position, or the enemy team is spread out nicely, it can feel like a very low impact item for its cost. Like you could have had an aura, you could have had a repositioning item like Dagger or Force Staff for your team. So it's, high risk, high reward item. Well, guess what?
Well, Vici Gaming, they're not about that life.
Take the mech. Yeah. I'm just happy to see it because I feel like that item build gets autopiloted way too much on this hero.
I really thought PYW was going to go for the Blink, then Centaur Stun builds, but opting for the BKB.
Somebody's got to go in front and get in. They have Yang though, who could take that upon himself. But maybe they feel like, okay, if we have two fat boys in front, then Drow has a lot of a buffer. And if PYW, the good thing about BKB here is if you can get in and doom either Arc Warden, Monkey King, or I would say the Shaker, if you can just flat out run in, start the fight, and threaten, the enemy team can't really just run away when they're facing Treant Puck, right? If the fight just breaks out and you go in, if you do it with a dagger, you can get counterplayed and killed. If you do it with BKB here, you're not going to die, right? While it's running. So I think he will get dagger regardless, probably as his next item, but
it's a little bit of like a Slardar sort of concept. You just want to get on top of somebody, and with the BKB, ensure that you can stay on top of them.
Oh, that's a good item.
Oh, that's not too shabby for Draw Ranger.
So correct me if I'm wrong, multi-shot cannot proc any orbs, right?
Right.
At all. Okay. That would be sick if it put orb. Don't get any ideas, Ice Frog. I know you're watching.
16-15, a 3,000 net worth lead for Vici Gaming, but it's Secret seem to have a little bit more control of the map, or maybe that's just because Zai is pretty far forward here, and he may be very tanky, but not much he can do with the Doom. Looks like bottom lane, they also found Eurus at the same time, so Secret will take that exchange, I'm sure. An offlaner for the safe lane of Vici Gaming.
Especially considering what was expended, right? You used Doom and Coil.
Yeah.
And the Drow was kind of just a free pick. They didn't use anything. Nothing major, at least.
Full mobility for Yapsor. The Blink Dagger first, Shadow Blade and Spider Legs. Anything to make sure that he can get into that back line, catch that puck or that Draw Ranger at the start of a fight. Oh, telescope for Draw Ranger team.
Not bad. Attack range, pretty good on Drow last I checked. How much attack range does Drow have? So Drow has 765 before telescope. How much is it gives again?
I think it's like 125, 150?
150. That's long range. That's close to what Sniper would have with max take aim. So.
But at the end of the day, he still has a problem with that magnetic field, with that bubble from the Arc Warden.
He will need MKB eventually.
Yeah.
At least the matchup has changed quite a bit in Drow's favor compared to before because you have multi-shot, right? In the past, you were just like completely hard countered. All you had was your ranged right clicks with Precision Aura instead, and you had to get that MKB. It seems like other things are possible. Puppy in the right place at the right time. Helps when you're just AFK in there. Eventually it'll spawn, right?
We'll see if DY, he's going to cut down a tree, see if he can get some vision, throws the brambles into the pit. But they need some actual vision of Roshan. That's where Ori's going to come into play. Gets his orb inside of there, but Roshan's so low, they're not going to be able to get inside in time, especially with Zai blocking off that pathway. So Vici Gaming now going to have to play against an Aegis and Cheese. Seems like they're very relaxed about this. Maybe they view that their late game will actually be a bit stronger than we're giving credit for. I mean, Draw Ranger lineups late game are actually always kind of crazy and super dangerous, but they also have like this 4-position Doom that's very clearly trying to turn into a core.
Yeah, the thing you don't have though, you don't really have any other right-click hero that truly benefits from Drow's ulti, right?
Yeah.
Puck, it's okay, but it's not your Shadow Fiend or Viper or whatever later on.
Puck has been disappointing late game ever since the 90 damage talent at level 15, ever since that went away. And it's now just a 30 damage, which many people don't even take, because now it's better to go for the magic damage build rather than a right-click build. Ori, Spidey the Monkey King, but some man actually jumping down, does have an Aegis as well as a BKB, so Vici Gaming may not commit fully to this one, an overgrowth that only lands on the Lich as the Glimmer Cape protects him. Into the back line, Eurus already being found by the Zai Clockwork, and the turnaround here is Matumman activating his BKB. He's already taken out Ori on the side. PYW does manage to find the real Arc Warden, but it doesn't matter with so many heroes here, unless Eurus can lend a hand here. PYW continuing to chase with the help of DY as well, but the BKB is going to wear out eventually, and that's where Yapsor instantly hits him with the stun, and that is enough to allow Nisha to disengage. In fact, he wants to go back, and he knows Vici Gaming's on the back foot. Yang will be an inevitable victim to this Clockwork, who locks him inside the cogs. 3 dead on the side of Vici Gaming, and I believe they kept their Aegis intact. They didn't lose a single hero.
Yeah, they also kept their cheese. They lost absolutely nothing there, Secret. Vici Gaming kind of caught in this weird limbo where they're somewhat forced to fight. If they try to back off, they're going to get caught by all this chasing potential of Monkey King and Shaker. So they do stand their ground and fight, but they wasted an overgrowth, right? Like you start the fight overgrowthing. He knows it doesn't hit Invis heroes, hopefully. Missing that mark there on the Monkey King. He gets the Lich, only didn't get anything out of it. Oh, Zai even finds a stray Treant in the top half, trying to take out the outpost.
His team doesn't need him for this push, so he goes, defends the outpost. After all, Secret's going to play this patiently. They're not going to try and force the high ground, especially against a Drow Treant Protector lineup. Unless you could take the tier 3, it's not even worth touching it. At this point, Secret looked to be in a pretty comfortable lead. Almost getting caught out here. In fact, Will, he activates the BKB, Boundless Strength, the 2 of them. He still has that Aegis as well, so Team Secret could try and make their way over here, as Nisha does. The BKB expended by PYW makes things even. Now a gem for the Tree Protector. It seems like they feel the need to get any kind of map control they can get at this point. Is pick off on Puppy, gets the Draw Ranger to level 20, so there's a decent power spike, the plus 35% multi-shot damage.
I'm curious what's going to happen in this game once BKB start dropping lower. So Monkey King is down to 8 seconds. Is anybody else on Secret even going to buy one? I'm not sure. So far, it doesn't seem like it.
Top man, the Wukong's man is going to be able to surround the Doom. The Yamstar followed up, keeping him chain stunned, basically. That's going to be killed right off the bat. Now, Yang, he's going to be fine, at least initially, but they can certainly chase for quite some time. Vici Gaming thought they were going to go for TPs in. Instead, they go for TPs out, and perhaps just leaving Yang behind. Pops his ultimate, but he has a long ways to go, sadly. And Matamba Man has infinite chase. So unless he can somehow juke through the trees, which seems unlikely, especially with the other side of things, then he will fall as well. 2 down.
Of all things, the power cog's got
Oh, Eurus. 22. Eurus in trouble. Ankle slam just to seal the deal. 2 becomes 3, and all of a sudden Vici Gaming's base is looking very exposed.
Yeah, they kind of missed. They had this mid-game timing that their lineup really wanted to hit, and Secret just played super well around, especially the Monkey King, as well as the Clockwork, I want to say, just making so much space in fights. The longer they draw out, the harder it gets for Vici Gaming. When the BKBs are expended, eventually you're going to struggle against Shaker Stuns, Arc Warden, and there's some range right there.
These long-range stuns are such a great way to start fight. Fissure plus Boundless Strike. I always found that to be such an obnoxious duo to play against. Your traditional positioning for fights is a little bit ruined by those 2 leading stuns, and 1 lane of Barracks turns to 2 as Vici Gaming are not going to buy back on the Drow Ranger. After all, they don't have a Dream Protector, and they pretty much need everybody to successfully defend. Aghanim Scepter for Clockwork, so now he can really stay on top of that Drow Ranger. Hookshot is not just going to be defeated by that Hurricane Pike. Oh, they do manage to grab PYW inside the cogs with the Wukong's manned out, but does manage to get out of there with his BKB to safety. Yang gonna have to be careful there, as the Silver Edge on the Arc Warden means that his automatic trigger of Borrowed Time can be disabled.
Yeah, do they have any silence to do the full combo? I don't think they do yet. No silences. Eventually a Bloodthorn is obviously a possibility, or a Hex.
Yep.
Oh, a silence.
I like that. So I'm thinking about a Blink Dagger. Just any kind of mobility he can to make the best use of the double hook shots and double cogs. It's going to be really tough for this Drow Ranger to always try and extricate herself from these team fights. 400 Fissure range just for that extra little bit of poke and prod that Secret's lineup has against a Vici Gaming lineup that really needs to commit to a team fight. Butterfly trying to be built by Eurus, but it's a long ways away, and with the 14,000 net worth lead and only 1 lane of barracks to go, it looks like Team Secret, they're feeling it right now. They are just marching down the top lane with a full 5-man. Wonder if they're actually going to try and commit to a push at all, or wait till they get a pick off. There's no rush for this team, after all.
Yeah, they can take it easy. The next Aegis will be in half a minute to 3.5 minutes. So you can control the map until then, get that huge advantage. If you get Aegis Cheese Refresher or Aghanims, you should be able to close out this game. So
from your perspective, is that Roshan kind of the last hill that Vici Gaming has to try and defend? Do they have to go for that steal?
I think they're going to go and fight that, and if they lose, they're going to GG out.
Yeah.
And because if you don't, like you're kind of just waiting to lose, right? I don't think there's anything, any saving grace for their lineup defensively where WoW Secret's suddenly just going to lose a fight. They can just put 2 magnetic fields down, start hitting the tower with an Arc Warden with Aegis. And, I mean, you got to do something, right?
Yeah, so maybe if you had MKB or if you had all 3 lanes of barracks still up, you could play for high ground defenses. After all, drone lineups are really good at that. But with only 1 lane of barracks and this much of an advantage, Secret, as soon as they get close to your base, it's going to be there in the back of your head. They could just full commit, take megas, even if they die. You'll be at too much of a disadvantage to be able to fight back any further. Rocket Flare damage for Zai as his levels have been going swimmingly.
This is by the way an awesome neutral item in Clockwork. We haven't really talked about the Craggy Coat, but it's one of the best strength offlaners to get this on, just because of how little he relies on his right clicks. I did go for the Aghanims, so then you can attack a bit more, but it's not really the purpose of it regardless.
Especially against something like the Juro Ranger, who traditionally you get on top of her, she's not much of a threat, but with the multi-shot, it's actually a little scary. Here you can take up that damage thanks to pretty much a free plate mail that you got out of the neutral items. Nisha is going to send his Tempest double here forward, taking away the vision of Vici Gaming. Vici Gaming do not want to let go of this high ground. This high ground is how they control Roshan, but it's coming at a bit of a cost, already a bit low on some of their heroes. Fortunately, Vlad's and neutral creeps will allow them to heal back up. And Roshan is now a go. Team Secret.
Yours is close to it. Almost has the rapier. I honestly don't think it's the right item. I think MKB might almost be. I mean, for the sake of multi-shot, maybe it's just a Hail Mary play.
I mean, you did kind of say if you lose this Roshan fight, the game's over, right? Yeah. If you buy MKB, then you want to have buyback gold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm strictly talking MKB against Rapier. Oh, yeah, Rapier has True Strike. I'm being stupid. Yeah. It's the new Rapier. Hey. Yo, 2020. Rapier has True Strike. Okay, it's definitely the right item. I think everything I just said.
To be fair, Synderen, how long have you played Dota? Like close to 20 years now?
I started last week.
Well, I could tell, but...
Yeah, okay. Yeah, now that it does have True Strike, it's the best. Because now it really is the way to go then. Because you needed a True Strike item more than anything. Yeah. And you are in the position where you're all in. So 100% the right thing to do. And, well, you're all in. The Roche is happening.
The worst part is Secret, they don't have to do this, Roshan. They could, smoke up, wrap around on you or something. Vici Gaming, their ideal fight would be Secret committing to the Roche and intercepting them halfway through doing it. But instead, Secret are going to go for that smoke play. They're not going to play on the low ground. They're not going to play on the pit. They're going to try and take that high ground that Vici Gaming was playing on away from them, or at least neutralize it by being on the high ground themselves. Vici Gaming actually pushing away from this area, and if anything, if they get too far away from their base, Secret could poke at it, force Vici Gaming back, or maybe get a pick off here on Ori, who's trying to push out that top lane, but the hook shot is there to make sure he stays stunned, and is now dead for 80 seconds, no buyback.
That's a big one. That's the control that they need to allow Drow to just hit into heroes the whole fight. He was not expecting that Secret would be up there. Thought they would be playing around the Roshan pit and staying tight, but they had a really good read that going up there would maybe get them a kill, or at least force a rotation back onto that tower. And now they don't even have to fight for it.
No.
There you go. How easy is that?
You said the control from Puck is all important, and Vici Gaming agree with you. That's why they're going to play the high ground, wait till he's back up. Does mean Aegis Cheese and an Aghanim's Blessing, so we can do the Rune Forge. This early on to the game, if the game does stall out, plenty of bounty runes for you, but even something simple as spawning a double damage is a great way to break the base.
Yep. What did he spawn the first time?
I didn't see it. Bounty rune. Very first try.
Well, okay.
Matumba Man leading the way, just spawning some of those statues, making it a little bit harder for Vici Gaming. There's the first round of multi-shots, so you get an idea of what kind of damage that does. An aggressive first half, now a defensive one. Does manage to get Matumba Man back out. They need to be able to bring down his agents without serious commitment. They do manage to get the Doom onto the Arc Warren, but at the same time, Zai in and out with the refresher from the Aghanim Scepter. Now Matumba Man on the second life gets off the Wukong's man. Surrounding PYW, they have the coil on the back lines, but nobody can really get there. And yours, he's a little bit low. But the Echo Slam does manage to get off his BKB, but now he's been bashed up. The Overgrowth is going to be able to buy him time here. Yuris trying to fight during his BKB. He needs that damage because nobody else can really deliver it. As you can see, Nisha, Ori's trying to get that kill out of Yapsor, can't quite do it. Yang drops low, a Phonic Shield just in time. Tempest Double is not going to be able to take down Yang, but the Megas are going to be coming soon if Vici Gaming can't find a way to push back Nisha and Matumba Man. All of them healing up right now, but that's just it. Vici Gaming not even going to try for another fight, even with Divine Rapier still in hands. They know it's all over. It's all secret for game one.
Really felt like Secret had superior map movements. They took some really good fights. It was very close for a long time, and then they suddenly just exploded from 2 good fights in a row, getting both Roshans, actually 3 Roshans.
Yep.
It's something Vici Gaming you have to step up on. It's difficult as the Dire if the Radiant start taking control of the active jungle or the aggressive top jungle area, and Vici might have had to try to flush them out to compete. If you give Secret 3 Roshes in any game, they're gonna win 99% of the time. And well, this time around they wanted to fight for the 3rd one. Ori got caught out. They never even got to try. So
they also look really scary with that Arc Warden. I don't know, Nisha just makes it look so strong. It's so hard to fight in the mid game, and he doesn't really seem to lose his lane too often because there's always Yapzor there to give him the extra help. Secret seem to have found a very winning formula against Vici Gaming, taking this game 1 pretty handedly. But we'll see. Vici Gaming, they're no slouches. We'll come back in game 2, see what happens.